Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Time is 4 p.m. and my name is Distinguished Toastmaster QBE. Acting as the Sergeant at Arms for today, I hereby call the second meeting of Festac Toastmasters Club to order. Before we proceed, I'd like to share a few guidelines that will guide our interactions on the call today. First, I'd like everyone who is yet to rename their device to bear their name to please do so that we know who we are and who we are referring to at any point in the meeting. I'd also like to advise everyone to please keep their microphones muted unless they have to speak, and once they're done speaking, to put the microphones back on mute. And as much as possible, please put your video feeds on so we can see your beautiful faces and can have that conviviality in the meeting today. And along the line in this meeting, a link to an attendance form shall be shared in the chat room. Please do well to follow that link and fill in your attendance in the form. And of course, feel very free to engage in the chat room, make it interactive. Someone says something nice, something like something about the speech, drop a commendation, be very interactive. Feel free to use the chat box for that. And while engaging, please let's remember to keep all interactions sensitive and not referred to politics, sex, or religion. This is because we have participants joining us from different cultures and different regions, and we want to be very sensitive and respectful. Last, but of course not least, I want to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded and the media might be used for Toastmasters and club promotional purposes. Then next, I will lead us to recite the National Pledge and the Toastmasters Promise, starting with the National Pledge. Just a moment to share this so you can all follow as I read. The National Pledge. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. Next is the Toastmasters Promise. Just a moment to share this also. The Toastmasters Promise. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on a Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain a positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs, and to act within Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Of course, I move on to my last job, which happens to be my favorite job as a Sergeant at Arms, calling the meeting to order today, which is to introduce to you the club president. The club president is Toastmaster Nora Blessing Izoha, also known as Nora King. She is a serial entrepreneur, the CEO of Nora K International, a boutique company with interests in event management, real estate, and interior design. She is the founder and chief administrator of the Lagos School of Interior Design. Toastmaster Nora started her Toastmasters journey in 2016 as a member of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters in Victoria Island. Nora K, as she's fondly called, is a humanitarian, a member of the Rotary Club of Lagos West, where she's currently serving as the Youth Service Chair. She's an alumni of Lagos Business School. Nora K is passionate about bettering the lives of others and believes that every dream is achievable only if one puts their mind to it. She enjoys interacting with like minds on progressive ideas such as personal development and making money. Toastmaster Nora Ezoha is the charter president of the prestigious Festac Toastmasters Club. Please make very welcome our president and my friend, the beautiful Toastmaster Nora King. You're still muted, Madam President. You're muted, Madam President. You want to unmute yourself.
I can't hear at all. You may unplug the earpiece and then reconnect.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me, please?
Loud and clear.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, it is indeed my pleasure. It's my pleasure to have you all here today. Our most distinguished Toastmaster and Division Director, DTF Chidi Chukudimadu, other division executive members on the call, I welcome other Toastmasters from other clubs, our members, and of course, our special guests. We are all welcome to Festac Toastmasters Club meeting. One good turn, they say, deserves another. And that brings us today's theme, which is kindness. No matter the act of kindness, no act of kindness, no matter how small, is wasted. We live our lives for others. If you really want to have a better life, then you must learn the art of kindness. Speak kindly to people, treat people with kindness, and be kind to people in general. Don't segregate. Who do you show kindness to? You can show kindness to your neighbors, to your strangers, to your family, to everyone around you. Everybody deserves an act of kindness. And that kindness changes the person. And a little act of kindness that you show to someone can actually make someone's day a better one. It can come with a smile, with a little, it can come as even a soft word spoken to someone who is broken. The person can come out of depression or whatever the person is passing through just by your reaching out to the person, by that act of kindness. Whenever you are kind to others, it not only changes you, but it changes the world at large. Let's imbibe this culture. Let it live with us. Let it never leave us, because whatever little act of kindness we sow today, it tends to germinate and expand. We don't know where we're going to meet anyone. We don't know where we're going. This person you show an act of kindness today, you don't know where you are going to meet the person. Perhaps you might be the one that will need the person to treat you well. Let's imbibe this culture. And that's bring us let me quickly introduce the Toastmaster of the day, who is going to be the pilot of this meeting, in the person of Ngozi Manukaji. Ngozi Manukaji is a communication manager at one of the multinational companies in Lagos. She has over 10 years experience in designing brand communication strategy. Also have experience in content development, event management, and innovative product lunches. Her hobbies include singing, reading, and spending quality time with close family and friends. Her mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive. And to do so, she does so with so much passion, so much compassion, with humor and style, the God way. Please, let's all make welcome to Toastmaster Ngozi Manukaji. Toastmaster Ngozi Manukaji, the virtual letter is handed over to you. Let's give her a round of applause, please.
I think we just lost her. All right, she's back.
Good afternoon. I apologize. I was thrown out of the my introduction was insufficient.
Madam President. Hello, Madam President.
Can I be heard, please?
All right, we can hear you now. Ngozi, we can hear you now.
Okay, apologies. I was thrown out of the meeting during my introduction. I guess it's done now. I don't know if my network is stable enough. Can you see and hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, great. Thank you most graciously, the President, for the words of your introduction and distinguished Toastmasters and amiable guests. Trust you had a productive and eventful week like I did. I particularly love the theme of today's meeting, which is a charge to us as Toastmasters and the intending Toastmasters. Spread kindness. The President dwelt extensively on this, but I just thought to add how beautiful a day really can be when kindness touches it. And I remember in primary school, there's a song we used to sing. I don't know if any of you can remember. It used to be, used to go like this. Be kind to everybody. Be kind to everyone. Be kind to everybody. And everybody will be kind to you. I was meditating on that song today, and I realized that song is actually not correct. Because really and truly, you shouldn't be kind to people just because you want anybody to be kind to you. And then the fact that you're kind to people will be kind to you in return, but be kind anyway. Okay, please confirm you can still hear me. I do not trust my iPhone.
We can hear you loud and clear. Please proceed, Ma.
Great. So practice random acts of kindness every day and to poverty in diversity. Toastmasters and distinguished guests, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you once again to Festac Toastmasters Club. For the benefit of the guests, I would like to explain briefly the structure of the meeting. The meeting is divided into 3 rounds. The first part of the session is the table topics round, where members can practice thinking and speaking on their feet. And this round is also known as the impromptu section. Guests are welcome to participate in this round. Really, it's more for the guests. The second part of the session is the prepared speech round, where members will be delivering speeches based on the project and class they have chosen. And the third and final part is the evaluation round, in which all the prepared speeches as well as other aspects of the session will be evaluated by the general evaluator and his team. And at this juncture, distinguished Toastmasters and amiable guests, I would like to introduce to us the general evaluator for today, who is none other than Toastmaster Areka Okonkwo. She is a ray of sunshine to everyone who comes her way. I love that. She's a marketing and sales strategist who works with Van Basten Nigeria Limited with over 15 years of experience in pharmaceutical sales and marketing. She joined BSN Toastmasters Club in November 2016 and has obtained the Competent Communicator Award. She has also won Best Speaker on several occasions. She loves the good life and lives it first class. She only enjoys the company of people who keep the smile on her face. She also loves to laugh out loud. Aresa is a wife to one husband and has a daughter as her second in command. She enjoys country music and old school beats. She loves traveling, meeting people, cooking and mentoring young people. And her favorite quote is, "Everything is beautiful in its own way" by Dolly Parton. Toastmaster Aresa, you have the floor.
Many thanks to you, the Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and our guests. It is a pleasure to be in your midst today, and we truly look forward to a beautiful outing. We are talking about spreading kindness, and I mean, with the month of February, month of love, it is my best month as well. So it is my favorite month, actually. And it is important that we continue to spread kindness from now on till unto eternity, as a matter of fact, because we need it. It was Jackie Chan who said that sometimes it takes only one act of kindness and caring to change a person's life. And so it may just be one little thing that could mean the world to the other person. I will go straight on. My role for today as the general evaluator is to review and assess today's meeting. And like we know in Toastmasters, and also for the benefits of our guests, feedback, they say, is the breakfast of champions. And we just love feedback. We love the commendations and recommendations that we have in Toastmaster. So this is so we can continue to improve as we learn and grow. I will not be doing this alone. I have a team that would ensure we have a seamless meeting today. So I'll call on the team to explain their rules. And at the end of the day, we'll also come back to present our reports on how we have fared. So first up, I will be calling on the timer to give us the timing guidelines. I suppose he has already started the job because we need to work as per the timing guidelines. So he will direct us on that. And I will be calling on no other than Toastmaster Elemoro, who is a veteran Toastmaster. And he has served as the past president of the Ikeja Toastmasters Club and currently the club growth director of Division F. His day job is to serve, he serves as the chief press secretary to Lekki local council development area. And his favorite quotes, if you truly want to change the world, judge a man by the size of his heart and not the size of his slippers. At this point, may I call on Toastmaster Elevora to take the virtual lecture.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Aretha. It's such a pleasure to have you with us today, playing the role of General Evaluator. And of course, it is a pleasure to be our timekeeper for today's meeting. I am particularly excited, and at the same time, I feel weird because the last time I played the role of the timekeeper must have been years. So it feels a bit funny to play the role, especially on Zoom, but it's always a pleasure to answer the call whenever we have a Toastmasters meeting. And I look forward to a fantastic meeting, a meeting where we are on time, a meeting where we are in check, and of course, a meeting where we have an amazing time as well. So basically, the Toastmaster of the day has already explained that we have three categories to the meeting. One is where we have the introduction of the role players, which is going on right now, and the other one is where we get the table topics. The other one is where we talk about prepared speeches, and basically we have timing for all these segments. So the segment where you'll be called to talk about your roles, you have 2 minutes. Whenever you see my green card, it means you've spent 1 minute. Whenever you see my yellow card, it means you have spent 1 minute, 1 minute 30 seconds. Whenever you see my red card, it means you've exhausted your time and you have 30 seconds to round off. So for other segments like the table topics, we have 2 minutes as well, and the same rule also applies. Green card for 1 minute, yellow card for 1 minute, 30 seconds, and of course, red card for 2 minutes, and then you have 30 seconds to round off. So basically, for the table topics, you have 1 minute minimum to speak to be qualified to be voted for, and you have the maximum of 2 minutes to speak to address the whole topic or the subject. So for the prepared speeches, the timing differs based on the requirements of the manuals, and that's what I'll be working with. Some will be delivering the icebreaker speech, which is speaking for a minimum of 4 minutes and maximum of 6 minutes. At 4 minutes, they'll be seeing my green card. At 5 minutes, they'll be seeing my yellow card, and at 6 minutes, they'll be seeing my red card, which indicates that they have 30 seconds to round off. For someone who is delivering other speeches, the rules also apply. Uh, the green card, the yellow card, and of course the red card when they have 30 seconds left to round up. Aside that, I encourage everyone to live by the rules of the time. Like they do say, time is life. And I could go on saying so many things about time right now, but I wouldn't like to take much of our time. So thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, our timer for today. Next up is our grammarian. The grammarian would explain his role and introduce the word of the day. Our grammarian today is Toastmaster Abdulrahim, who is 100% made in Nigeria. He is someone who is passionate about helping people become the best version of themselves. And he has been in the telecom industry for about 2 decades. He loves learning, reading, he loves human behavior and sports, especially basketball and karate. He has served as the immediate past director of Area 14 and is currently the club growth director for Division E. Toastmaster Abdulrahim favorite quote is, "Everything is possible." Please welcome Toastmaster Abdulrahim to the virtual lecture, please.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. It's taking this role gives me that nostalgia as I take on this role, just like the timer, it's been a while. My role for today, being the grammarian, is to introduce the word of the day, watch out for people that have used it, the number of times it has been used, but also look out for good use of grammar so we can encourage Toastmasters to continue improving on their vocabulary. The word of today that we have is altruistic. altruistic. Going with the theme of today, spreading kindness. So it's only logical for us to have a word of the day that is similar to that. I'm trying to project it here. Sorry, I'm trying to project it here. We're having a little challenge with networks, but it's by the end of the general evaluators meeting or introduction, I'll still request for a permission so that I could project the word of the day. What it means, it's an adjective and means showing a disinterested and selfless concern for the well-being of others, being unselfish. An example is, it was an entirely altruistic act. And I believe all Toastmasters are altruistic. Similar words can be found in unselfish, selfless, considerate, compassionate, kind, and generous. Look out for it. I'll put it in the chat room so you can always look out for it. And I also encourage everyone, speakers, Toastmasters of the day, and everyone that speaks to use the word altruistic, because I believe as Toastmasters, we are all altruistic individuals. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Many thanks to you, Toastmaster Abdurrahim. So we have all heard it. We have to be altruistic from now onwards and in the course of our everyday lives. It will help in spreading some kindness. I will call on the next role player, the counter, who will serve like our police for today. May I call on Toastmaster Amarachi? Toastmaster Amarachi is an entrepreneur who runs an online jewelry business. She loves reading, going to new places. That is me as well. She loves hanging out with loved ones, absolutely. And her favorite quote, the more you learn, the more you earn. May we have Toastmaster Amarachi to the virtual lectern, please.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Good to be here. This is my first time doing a role play like this, and I hope I do well. Well, that's my plan anyways. Well, okay, my role basically is to be an accountant. As an accountant, I'm going to take notes of, how often you use filler words, like what I just said, now. So I'm going to be monitoring that, like words like how often you repeat those words. As in for the speakers, I'll be monitoring how often those words are used, and I'll advise that as much as possible, try to minimize using filler words. So it's nice to be here. Thank you very much. Over to you, General Toastmaster of the day.
General Evaluator. Thank you, Toastmaster Amarachi. You have done well. You didn't need to tell us. We would not have known that you've not played the role before. Okay? All right. We have a listening evaluator that will come to explain her role to us. Welcome, Toastmaster Octavia, who is a wife to a great man, mother to gracious boys. She is a skillful writer and an eccentric speaker. She believes that slight persistent effort can move anyone successfully forward in everything they do. Let us welcome Toastmaster Octavia to the virtual lectern, please.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Fellow intending Toastmasters, and guests. It was Robbie Miller Kaplan who said, in addition to comforting, we can help in another way too, by listening. Following the theme for our meeting today, which is spread kindness, we would be practicing the skill of listening. And I'll be altruistically excited to champion that cause. I am Zoe Octavia Obaze, the listening evaluator. Thank you very much for having me. Over to you, the general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Zoe. Okay, that concludes the introduction of our role players. So we will come back at the end of the meeting to give our reports and really see how we have fared and look at areas of improvement. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you most.
Toastmaster of the day,
Please
please.
confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Great. Thank you most kindly, very kindly, the general evaluator, for the altruistic act of introducing your role players to us. Yes, altruistic. Thank you for sharing. Distinguished Toastmasters and esteemed guests, it's time for table topics. And to be coordinating this part of the program is none other than Toastmaster Clarence Jumbo. Toastmaster Clarence joined Toastmasters International in 2018. He is a supply chain professional, a management staff of Primero Transport Services Limited, an advocate of professional training and competence building. He loves to read, listen to news, and talk shows. Toastmaster Clarence Jumbo, the floor is yours.
Thank you very kindly, the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ngozi. It's been a while. Good to see you.
Yeah, same here.
My role is very simple as the table topics master. Toastmasters meetings are generally divided into 3 segments. You have the table topics, and then you have the prepared speeches, and then they have the evaluation segment. The table topics is an interesting part and one of the most dreaded part in every Toastmasters meeting. You will agree with me that everyone has, well, I say, something to talk about when it comes to table topics, maybe their first experiences. If it's in the church, we'll say someone has a testimony of his or her experience with the table topics. So the table topics is an interesting part that helps us to build confidence and competence. You may be called upon at any point in time to make a short speech, maybe in a meeting, maybe to make give some words, maybe at a wedding program, or maybe in a business meeting. And so Toastmasters training program gives us an opportunity to practice table topics, to give impromptu speeches, to speak on our faith without preparation or organization. And so it helps us to articulate our thoughts. When you do that often, you'll find out that you build a level of confidence and competence. And then you build an aura of respect and intelligence and brilliance around you. So without taking much of our time, I'll go into some of the questions for the day, and I'll be calling on some of our Toastmasters to give their responses. So I will read out the question, and first of all, I will require that if I have a volunteer, that will save me the pain of actually looking at calling someone to give me the response. Now, my first question is this. What would you like to be remembered for after life on earth? Now, before I call anyone, I remember a statement many years ago by my secondary school principal. I think at the time we were passing out, he actually made a statement and he said, "What are you in the eyes of men and in the light of history?" So this statement is similar to the question I'm asking now. So what would you be remembered for after life on earth? Do I have a volunteer? What would you be remembered for after life on earth? All right, can I call on Toastmaster Valeria E? Toastmaster Valeria E.
She's a guest, but I think she can give it a try.
Okay, okay, beautiful, a guest. That makes it even more interesting. So Valeria E., you have the floor. We need your response.
Everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. To
Good
answer
afternoon.
your question, I would love to be remembered for kindness, the impacts that I would leave on the earth with my skills, with my intelligence. I think for kindness, being able to not just build myself, but being able to build others as well, their level of interest. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That response in it has all the attribute of someone who is artistic in her approach or approach to life. Thank you very much, very kindly, Valeria E. And then the next question will be this. What do you think you will be doing in 10 years' time? What do you think you will be doing in 10 years' time? Do I have a volunteer? All right, then I will call on Chukwemelia Ogbuniba. Chukwemelia, I hope I got that correctly. Chukwemelia, the floor is yours. All right, in the absence of that, let me call on TM Edafe Ewiwo. What do you think you will be doing in 10 years' time? All right, okay, I have a volunteer, TM Edafe. I have a volunteer, TM Steve Aino. Please, sir, you have the floor.
Okay, thanks again to you, to Tim Clarence. Very straight to the question. I'll be very direct and I'll be very blunt. In 10 years' time, I like to see myself having an established foundation that is meant to touch lives, where it's supposed to be like an outreach. I love to see myself having an outreach where I can reach out to the poor, the less privileged. At the end of the day, I want to be known for philanthropy, not so much for wealth, not so much for riches that I've acquired, not so much for accomplishments, but I like to be known for philanthropy. So I see that very strongly. And I hope that in a year or two, I should be able to start the INOS Foundation, where that will be a medium, a channel to be able to touch lives as much as possible. I like to bring my friends on board, as many as would like to join me in the random act of kindness. It's going to be focused majorly on random acts of kindness. There's a gentleman by the name Mark Twain that says that kindness is a language that the deaf can hear and the blind can see. And I like to end up by telling you that the greatest religion in the world is the religion of humanity. It's not about you, it's about others. So the more lives you're able to touch, the better it is for you, and the more you're able to change the world. So that is my focal point, and I'm working seriously towards it. I hope to bring you on board, St. Clarence, as one of our partners or sponsors in the INOS Foundation. So in 10 years' time, please, I'll be inviting you and others on this call to come and partner with me, and let's touch lives collectively. Over to you, Toastmaster Clarence. Thank you. Yeah,
Wow.
good to see you again. Bye-bye.
Wow, thank you so very kindly, TM Steve Aina. That was another altruistic disposition to life. You hope to have a foundation. Wow, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you very kindly for that response. All right. to the next question. The next question goes to us. Assess the impact of social media in our society, considering its positive and negative sides. I'll take the question again. Assess the impact of social media in our society, considering its positive and negative sides. Do I have a volunteer? I will call on Toastmaster Edafe Ewiwo to respond to this question. Toastmaster Edafe, the floor is yours. All right. It's like there's no response from Toastmaster Edafe. Okay, let me call on intending Toastmaster Amarachi. The question goes to us. Assess the impact of social media in our society, considering its positive and negative sides. Toastmaster Amarachi, the floor is yours. Hello, Toastmaster Amarachi.
Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon.
Okay, yeah, the question you asked is that we should assess the effects of social media.
The impact of social media in our society.
Positively and negatively.
Yes.
Impact. Okay, I'm so sorry, my kids might disturb a bit. Okay, so for me, I think the impact of social media is, okay, it has two sides, yeah, both positive and negative sides. Now, looking at the positive side, social media is a very good tool to, promote different things, good things, For one, I use social media for my business, and I have earned a lot of money from social media by selling online, because it's a very good tool to promote your business, to get visibility, and to get to get a lot of customers, a lot of people to buy into whatever it is you're doing. Now, the negative side of social media is the fact that it can spread bad news really fast. I mean, some things that on social media are not true, but a lot of things there are not true, and bad news spreads very quickly and fast. So if bad news goes on social media right now, I mean, the whole world can get that information, especially when it's false news. So social media has it there. Thank you.
Thank you very kindly for that response. That was beautiful. All right, Toastmaster of the day. Do I have another more question, or is it only 3 questions I'm permitted to ask? Can I ask the first one? All right, so I can ask one more question.
The timer can actually let us know how far we have fed. Toastmaster Elemoro, are you timing the table topic session?
Yes, I am.
Can I ask one more question?
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Okay, the 4th question and the last question will be, is it important to love or to be loved? Is it important to love or to be loved? Do I have a volunteer? I'll love to call on the club president to respond to this particular question. Is it important to love or to be loved? The club president. All right, I have a volunteer. Okay, the club president can go ahead.
The table topic, Master. I don't know if it's okay for me to drive and talk. I'm actually heading somewhere.
Okay. Let us excuse
Yes,
you. Let's excuse you, please.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, I have a volunteer. TM Edafe, you can go ahead. Is it important to love or to be loved? TM Edafe, you have the floor.
All right. Good afternoon.
Can the president please mute her mic and turn off her video?
Can I go ahead?
Yes,
you can go ahead.
Thank you.
All right. So what is love? Love is simply an altruistic character. Love is something that is meant to be mutual. Love is not just important, but something that has to be made necessary. Should I be loved or should I love someone else? The answer goes both ways. I should love people around me. I should love my neighbors. I should love my siblings. I should love everyone around me because it's critical for the development of society. It's critical for the peace of society. Should I be loved? Yes, I should be loved. Just like the way I have shown others love, I also believe that it's good for myself to be shown love as well for the benefits of society. Thank you, the Toastmaster, the table topic master.
Thank you very kindly, TM Edafe, for that response. That's another altruistic disposition to life. You love to love others and to receive love. Thank you very much, very kindly, all the respondents to my question. I truly appreciate your responses. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you most graciously, Toastmaster Clarence, for the mentally and intellectually stimulating topics. Well done. And I didn't know Toastmaster Edafe is an expert in love matters. Good to know that today. And Toastmaster, I know, well done. What an altruistic long-term plan you have right there. Nothing beats living beyond yourself to touch lives and save lives and put smiles on the faces of people. Thank you, well done. All right, at this juncture, I would like to bring up the table topics evaluator. He is none other than Toastmaster Godwin Udu. Toastmaster Godwin Udu is a brand enthusiast and a motion designer with interest on how things move on screens. He is passionate about breaking complex ideas into tiny, understandable bits. He currently works with a design and advertising company in Lagos. He is also, interestingly, a past president at the Ikeja Toastmasters Club. Over to you, Toastmaster Godwin Udu.
Many thanks to you, Toastmaster Ngozi Manukaji. It's good to see you again.
Yeah.
Quick question, are we taking votes or I should proceed with the evaluation?
Taking the votes. All qualified.
All right, Mr. Thankiva. And before we do that, do all our speakers spoke within the allotted time? Are they all qualified to be voted for?
All qualified except intending Toastmaster Valerie, who did speak for up to 1 minute.
Thank you. Do we have the poll ready?
I think it's they can send their votes to me personally via the chat box. That'll be fine.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lemoro, our timekeeper. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to cast our vote. Our speakers, the speakers to be voted for this evening are Toastmaster Steve Aino, Toastmaster Amarachi, and Toastmaster Edafe. Please vote for the best of the three speakers. And you can send your vote to our timekeeper, Toastmaster Demolele Moro, on a private chat. Please, let's do that. Once again, the word of the day is altruistic. Let's do well to use them as we go ahead with the rest of the meeting. Thank you. Toastmaster Lemora, are the votes coming? Can you unmute yourself?
We have 3 votes so far.
3 votes still counting. Let's do well to send our votes to Toastmaster Ademola Elemoro. Mr. Timekeeper, do I have your permission to proceed with the evaluation?
Please proceed, sir. We have enough votes now. I think we have
Thank you.
7 now.
Many thanks for the go ahead. People, please, if your microphone, if your hands are not too busy, can you please unmute yourself and give all our speakers a resounding round of applause for altruistically responding to the table topic questions. Okay. Now for our first speaker, intending Toastmaster Valerie E. You spoke on the topic that says, how would you like to be remembered for afterlife on earth? Toastmaster Valerie, you have this most charming smile in this world. You turn on your camera, you start smiling. That was very clever of you. And you talked about kindness, you talked about building yourself and building others. Though I was expecting you to tell us more or to expatiate more on this, on kindness and how you intend to build yourself and others, but unfortunately you couldn't go beyond that. For the sake of next time, I would like you to 2 minutes, but you spoke less than 1 minute, and that time, give us more context, tell us more in the allotted time, and you'll be able to, convince us about the topic you were talking about. But in all, I love your smile and I love your courage and your charisma to responding to the question. Thank you. Our second speaker was Toastmaster Steve. Toastmaster Steve. Yeah, we all know you're a veteran speaker. And one thing I like was the fact that you altruistically volunteered to respond to that question. You didn't wait to be called upon. That was very thoughtful of you. And you went on to tell us that you have a foundation that in 10 years' time, what you would like to do is to have a foundation that will cater and reach out to the poor and the less privileged. You also went ahead to tell us the name of the foundation, that you had a manifesto, everything. This was more like as if you already had an expo, you had it written somewhere waiting for somebody to just call you to talk about this thing, and that was quite clever of you. and you talked about random act of kindness. You quoted Mark Twain. You went ahead to invite all of us to take part in this your foundation by the time you kickstart it. Toastmaster Steve, I know. What would I want you to improve on the next time you want to do this? Nothing really, other than just take a deep breath and just take it slowly so that we'll be able to follow you along. At some point, it was as if it was too fast. And it was as if you've had it in your mind. Let me just give it to them as it is hot. But in all, well done, Toastmaster Steve. And I look forward to joining you in this endeavor. Let's collaborate with you and do some random act of kindness. Well done, well said, Toastmaster Steve. Our third speaker was intending, I beg your pardon, is it intending or you're already a Toastmaster? But let me use Toastmaster. Let me use the word Toastmaster Amara. You spoke on the topic. You were asked to assess the impact of social media in our society, considering its pros and cons. Toastmaster Amara, you did exceedingly well, artistically well. You spoke about the positive and the negative side. For the positive side, you talked about how it has helped you in your business, how it has created visibility for you. I love the fact that you were able to relate it to yourself, and we could all relate to that story. And you also went ahead to talk about the negative side of social media in our society. People, a lot of times, they don't even verify what they hear. They keep spreading all of those news. Well done. One thing I would like you to try to improve on the next time you do this again is if you want to join a Toastmasters meeting, because you never can tell if you'll be called to speak or not. So I will advise that you look for a quiet and a conducive environment. There was a lot of ambient noise going on. We could hear your kids trying to join the conversation, but it's all good. Thank you. Yeah, by and large, it was a good one. I really enjoyed your response within that allotted period of time. And last but not the least speaker for today was our very own Toastmaster Edafe. Toastmaster Edafe. I like it when people volunteer to take on table topics. I commend you for that effort as well. You spoke on the topic that says, is it important? Who doesn't want to be loved? Toastmaster Edafe, you started by defining love. That was very clever of you. You talked about love being something mutual. Love is necessary for everybody. You also told us that it's something that has to go both ways and it's critical for the development of our society. Well said, Toastmaster Edafe. But one thing I'd like you to imbibe the next time you want to do this again. When you were speaking, there was no enthusiasm. You were a little laid back. And in my head, I was just saying to myself, Toastmaster Edafe, you're talking about love. Can you show us some love? Show some enthusiasm. Let's see you make this thing just be part of what you are trying to say. That's my only feedback for you. Other than that, you said something that struck a chord with me, that love is critical for the development of our society, and you did very well. Thank you to Toastmaster Edafe and to all our speakers. Thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing from you all again. Thank you. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Godwin Udu, for altruistically evaluating the table topics session. Well done. All right, at this juncture, it's time for us to go on a very short break so that we can meet our guests. So if you're a guest on this call, if this is your first time of joining Festac Toastmasters Club, we'd like to meet you, like to know you, and also know how you got to know about the club. Can someone please assist? I might not be able to tell who is a new joiner, but please, if you're joining for the first time, if you're a guest, please can you voluntarily introduce yourself so that we don't have to go through the attendance list to fish you out. Hello.
Hello. Toastmaster
Yes,
of the day.
I can hear you.
Yeah, this is Toastmaster Stephen. I know. Very good evening to you, Toastmaster of the day, all evaluators and everyone all in the wheel of progress at Festac Toastmasters. This is my first time of joining, and I must say that I'm being blown apart by what I've seen so far. You guys are doing a great job there. I'm also a Toastmaster, and at the point I felt it was like an extension of Ikeja Toastmasters because I'm seeing all my guys in this place. But it's good to be here. I'm quite excited. I look forward to more participation and bringing on what we have to add to what is in the narrative so that at the end of the day, we can all become better, which is the essence of Toastmasters. So big up to everyone doing good jobs in this space, doing kindness in Festac Toastmasters. Well done, everyone. Thank you.
Great, awesome, nice having you here as well, Toastmaster Steve. I know. Thank you for joining us today. Any other guests on the call today?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Valerie Ekove, and I was invited here. Well, I saw the ad on intending Toastmaster Amarachi's status, and my attention was caught by the part where it says improve your communication skills, and that's something that I'm deliberate and intentional about building this year. So, and I'm glad I'm here. There's so much altruism in the room. It's very inspiring. And so for a living, I work for the Ministry of Labor and Employment. So I'm in the civil service, and it's glad to be here. I'm really learning a lot in just this little time. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, intending Toastmaster Valerie. I love your confidence. I love the way you speak. And I must reassure you that you're in the right place and it's the right decision to take at this time to join the Toastmasters International Club. Well done and welcome once again. Okay, any other person?
I think we have.
Would love to meet you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, my name is Amarachi Nelly Ikoro. I'm really glad to be here. I got to know about Toastmaster class from intending Toastmaster Amarachi. Saw it on her status, so I joined. I'm an entrepreneur and a real estate consultant. So far, I've been learning a lot. I never knew that Toastmaster is this intending, like is this intense rather. So I want to say thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate you for your altruistic kindness. I don't know if I'm saying the right word, but thank you.
Thank you for joining us today, intending Toastmaster Amarachi. You have a lovely smile, a very lovely smile. Thank you for joining us today. All right, do we have any other person before we go into the prepared speeches segment? Any other guests intending Toastmaster in the building? All right, I think we can move on now. Okay, so it's time for prepared speeches, ladies and gentlemen. And our first speaker for today is none other than Toastmaster Jane Osemwingi. I beg your pardon. Apologies if I didn't pronounce that right. Toastmaster Jane is a passionate and resilient lady who lives life as positively as possible. She loves to read, listen to cool and sweet music. She will be speaking on the topic, my experience with mentoring. Toastmaster Jane will be evaluated by Toastmaster Abdullahi Jimo. She is a digital content creator with News Central TV. and the founder of Keynote Communications and Film Works. He is, interestingly, the past club president and Area 19 director and current program quality director, Division F. Toastmaster Abdullahi, please state the objectives of the speech.
I don't think CM Abdullah is online. If he's not online, I would like to step in for him.
All right, Toastmaster Ilemoro.
All right, thank you very kindly. Reading the objectives of our first speaker for today's meeting. The purpose of this project is for the member to develop and apply skills for coaching a fellow member or a person outside of Toastmasters who can benefit from his or her expertise. Again, the purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her experience coaching. So basically, we're looking forward to a speech that contains personal experience of the speaker with regards to mentoring, and that's what I would also be looking forward to, aside further basic communication attributes during the speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you very kindly for coming to our rescue, Toastmaster Ilemoro. Toastmaster Jane, the floor is yours. My experience with mentoring. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our Toastmaster of today. I just want to say you're very beautiful, TM Ngozi. Good day, fellow Toastmaster and guests. Good day, fellow Toastmaster and guests. I'm super excited to be here with you guys today, this beautiful Sunday morning, talking about sharing my experience as a mentor. According to John Whitemore, coaching is unlocking a person's potential to maximize their growth. One beautiful Saturday morning, I was on my way to the grocery shop where the president of NIPCA, Nigeria IT Professionals in Canada, called me. I was driving. Hello, Jane. How are you doing this afternoon? How are you doing this Saturday afternoon? I just want to let you know that I have a NIPCA member called Esther that I'd like you to coach. And you know that you can do this. I trust your ability. And she's going to call you. Is that okay by you? I said, yes, sir. The call ended. A few minutes later, I received a text message from Esther introducing herself to me that she'd like to be my mentee. I responded and I gave her my schedule, which she filled, and I got an email notification that she has filled. So the following week, the appointment was set and we booked an appointment. So I went through the different coaching steps with her to ensure that I fully understand what she's looking at for. The first step was to establish the objective. As a coach, I had to start engagement. I had to start the engagement with a clear purpose. I wanted to be sure and clear about what Esther truly wants. And I was asking her what she would like to achieve our time of discussion, our time together. And she told me that she'd like to transit from a customer service role to a business analysis professional. And she feels that I will be able to help her. So the objective of our relationship, our coaching, of her to be my mentee was to have all the right skills to transit into a business analysis role. So she intends to be a business analysis professional. That was pretty clear. So I was then clear about what she wanted. So the second step was for me to have a understanding through assessment. I needed to assess her to understand, to really grasp our strengths and our weaknesses so that I'll know where to come in and help. As a coach, I was able to ask insightful questions and actively listen fully to understand any constraints, to be able to analyze the strengths and our weaknesses. So the question I asked her, okay, Esther, what skills and competency are you currently developing to transit so you can fully transit into a business analysis? And with that, I was able to analyze the skills and know where the gaps and see how those gaps can be closed. The third step that I went into was to provide feedback as well. As a coach, I was able to provide feedback based on the assessments after fully assessing her based on the questions I've asked her. So I noticed that based on my assessment, I noticed that my mentee Esther does not have the right skills and competencies that she required to fully transit from a customer service professional to a business analysis professional. So I was able to give my feedback, able to analyze, give feedback by telling her strengths and weaknesses and showing the gaps and see how those gaps can be closed. The fourth step, I was able to identify the goals. So as a coach, I was able to outline all the skills and competencies that a successful business analysis requires. And through that, my mentee were able to analyze those requirements so that my mentee can see those areas and those skills and translate those skills into an actionable goals. So after analyzing those skills and competencies that she needs, my recommendation was that she should attend a coaching class for 2 weeks, and also she should also give a timeline and also develop some skills where she can see via YouTube and also through connections on LinkedIn, mingle with other people's like-minded professionals as well, where she can also grow those skills as well. And with that, she was able, then I asked her as well, I asked her for timelines, that when does she think that these goals can be met? She gave a timeline, she gave constraints that might prevent her from reaching those goals, and which I told her to move on, to keep on moving on it, and I will reach out, I should keep following up with her. So the final step is I followed up with supports. So time to time on a weekly basis, I was calling Esther to ensure that she's on track of her goals, she's on track, and she's also following through. And in areas where she gave feedbacks, I celebrated her. I also celebrate her wins and also applaud her in her progresses as well. And areas where she was lagging behind, I also try to encourage her and give her support and try to let her know that roadblocks are a stepping stone for you to a stepping stone for you to be on track, that it's normal for you to have roadblocks in a day-to-day life as well. So as I speak fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm happy to announce that Esther MMIT has fully transitioned into a business analysis professional. She's currently a business analyst in an energy service company in Nova Scotia, Canada. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, there are several skills that actually helped me to add value to Esther's life in terms of my mentoring and coaching. And these are listening. I actively listen to Esther. These listening skills really help me to really understand what she needs, where her gap is, where her strength is and weaknesses. And I could thoroughly listen and know where I can be of value to her. And the second skill I used is I became interested. So being interested in someone is, I was interested in her. So thereby I could be able to add value to her. The top is communication. In communicating with Esther, I made the communication so open that even if when she can't reach out to me over the phone, I created a WhatsApp group where she can send me a message any time of day and I quickly respond to her and ensure that there was an open conversation between both of us. The fourth skill I also use as well when engaging her was empathy. I empathize with Esther. I totally understand that it's really not easy as an immigrant in a different country where you were not born and brought up, I beg your pardon, for you to really transit from a customer service role to a more pure professional field in terms of business analyst role. I empathize with her and I understand her struggle, and I put myself in her shoes so that we can be on the sync together. The fifth skill that I also did as well was to motivate. I ensured I motivated her because there were times that she would get tired. She was studying hard. She was working and studying and doing different roles. In her, she was studying and she was also working. So it wasn't really easy for her to marry those two together. So I was motivating her. I was ensuring on a daily basis, I send her some motivational tips and say some word of positive affirmation to her to ensure that she keeps moving. The sixth was to empower her as well. I provided support. I was empowering her. I was sharing other people's testimonies, that people have transited from different roles to where they are right now, that she can do it, and encourage her that she should know where she should keep going as well. And the final skills as well too, because I know she's transited to business analysis professional. I also try to be knowledgeable about her skills because I was coaching her. All the skills that I required all the skills that I needed to know about business analysis, I too also became very conscious I also try to have that area of expertise, and so that I can give her the right information that she requires. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I would like to ask a question in the room, a question which I would love you guys to answer independently. Is how many of you currently in this room is coaching someone? If you don't, I'd like to encourage you for you to take it, for you to work on it. Look for someone around your community, your workplace to coach, because coaching is an act of kindness. Coaching is about adding value to people. When you coach and you see someone become better through the means of your information, through the means of your advice and your guidance, it brings so much joy to someone. That's an act of kindness. And that's one of the essence of life, for you to be able to add value to people's life. Fellow Toastmasters, I guess I'll leave you with this quote by Richard Scott, which says, "A great coach not only inspires, but supports and encourages others to get results." The Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jane. Indeed, coaching and mentoring can be seen as an altruistic act, or can be seen as altruistic acts. Thank you once again. Distinguished Toastmasters and highly esteemed guests, our second and last speaker for today is Toastmaster Chidi Chukwudi Madu. She is a strategically minded finance professional, a certified project manager, and chartered banker. She enjoys reading, dancing, volunteering, traveling, and sports. And altruistically, she tries to put smiles on the faces of people around her. I love that. She joined Toastmasters in 2016 as a charter member of the AWN Toastmasters Club and has served in various categories: Vice President Membership, Vice President Education, as well as the two-time club president. She has served as the Director, Area 16, Division F, District 94, past President, AWN Toastmasters Club, Program Quality Director, Division F, District 94, and currently is the Division Director, Division F, District 94. Quite some achievement here in terms of education. She has achieved ACGALB proficiency, innovative planning, and effective coaching. She is also a two-time Triple Crown Award recipient for 2020, and her personal mantra is Kaizen, which means continuous improvement. She will be speaking on the topic, Distinguished Director. And Toastmaster Chidi will be evaluated by Toastmaster Edafe. Toastmaster Edafe is a registered architect, a safety expert, as well as a project manager. He specializes in the design and construction of green and sustainable buildings. He believes that simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. I love that. I agree with you 100%. Toastmaster Edafe, please state the objectives of this speech.
All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster Ngozi. You did very ravishing. And I really appreciate the opportunity to evaluate Toastmaster Chidi. The objective of the speech is for the speaker to introduce herself to the club and then learn the structure of public speaking. So those are the objectives.
All right, thank you for sharing, Toastmaster Edafe. Toastmaster Chidi, the floor is yours.
Thank you most graciously, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, Festac Toastmasters Club, the distinguished director. Dear friends, it was a beautiful Saturday evening in the month of September, over 3 decades ago. In the quiet sky, the stars danced with each other, watching altruistically on the activities that were happening below. Of interest that evening was a beautiful young lady who was walking gracefully and majestically along the walls of the halls of the hospital. Although I'm sure if you had asked her back then, she would tell you she was waddling. 30 minutes later, a cry was heard, and the sky erupted with happiness, as though what we will call locally as the banger in the sky went off. There was jubilation down below. There was laughter, there was dancing, there was singing. This beautiful young lady had given birth to a baby girl, young. Down the line, some 10 years later, this baby girl had grown in leaps and bounds under the watchful and altruistic gaze of her parents. She grew to become a sister and a passionate defender of her siblings, all 7 of them, and her friends. In primary school, she enjoyed being lavished with smiles, with love. I'm sure she probably never laughed or anything. But that's a story for another day. All through her secondary school years, she excelled academically and socially. Of course, she joined the clique of friends who would throw themselves at every social activity that was presented to them. She was in the Jets Club representing her school in competition, science competition. Of course, she was in the debate club because she loved to talk. She discovered dance and drama, and she excelled there. She even went as far as featuring in a Nollywood classic. Although that dream of being an actress did not see the light of the day. Why? Because her dad gave the African father look. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, when she got into the university, she made friends with 3 people that challenged her, and they were nicknamed the Tetrads. With this kind of friends, she was able to successfully pass through the university and allow the university to pass through her. Back at home, holidays, her home was like the Fuji house of commotion. This was because of the number of children that showed up in her home, and her mother would happily feed everyone. The smile on her face never breaking for a second. And that was her first lesson on selflessly and altruistically spreading love and kindness. Her mother was the kind that would give the cloth on her back to anyone who needed it without an atom of complaint. After her university, when she started her professional career, she got the opportunity to live her mantra every day, her mantra of Kaizen. When this opportunity knocked on her door, she jumped on that train. Hence, her Toastmasters journey started. She joined Toastmasters because she wanted to be a better version of herself. She wanted to grow and to help others grow. She knew that if she had to impact others and inspire them to be better, then she needed to excel, such that they would see and know that they too could excel. And so she gave herself wholeheartedly, ready to learn, unlearn, and relearn. She took up leadership roles in a local club where she supported her team and her club members altruistically. When the opportunity to serve at the area and division level came, she took it up. But when that one opportunity that she did want came, she shied away from it. Not because she didn't want to, but she felt herself inadequate to step into that shoe. You want to know why? It was because every director before her had that sought after distinguished Toastmaster award. She didn't have it at the point. I'm sure you would wonder, what did she do? Did she take on that challenge? Does she continue to shy away from it? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, allow me to present to you this baby girl that was given birth to under the beautiful, watchful gaze of the stars. She has grown to be a loving daughter, a sister, a friend, a wife, a lover, a mother. She's grown and known by different nicknames: a queen of boys, the bold and the beautiful, Mommy P, Iya Boys. Who wants to know if she eventually became the distinguished director? Does anybody here want to know? I could end my story at this point if nobody wants to know how she eventually passed through that phase in her life. Right, thank you. Fellow Toastmasters and guests. That baby girl from over 30 years ago is none other than the distinguished director herself. She is Chidi Chukwudimadu, DTM. She currently serves as the director of Division A. But as far as she's concerned, she is not a distinguished director because she has that DTM attached to her name. She's a distinguished director because she enjoys the opportunity to work with minds that continue to push her every day. Because she's made friends that has turned family. And because she's been able to inspire and also be inspired by her fellow Toastmasters and leaders across the Toastmasters nation. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, today she is the distinguished director. And she is sure that everyone on this call is distinguished or can be distinguished. If you're not there yet, of course you can be. Do you know how you can be distinguished? When you spread love and kindness altruistically. When you set yourself on a pedestal that makes people look at you and they're able to wear a smile on their face. When people think about you and they are happy. When you are part of that category of people who walk into a room and people just want to stay in that room. Not because the room is beautifully designed, but because there is someone in that room who makes their hearts flutter like the wings of a butterfly. Who is ready to be distinguished? Who is ready to be distinguished, fellow Toastmasters and guests? I challenge you to take on that robe of being distinguished, not as a title, but as a way of life, as a way to inspire people around you, as a way to be a better version of yourself. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I am Chidi Chukwudimadu, the distinguished director, has been, currently is, and will continue to be. But I'm Toastmaster of the day. You have the virtual lectern.
Thank you most graciously, Toastmaster Chidi, for altruistically sharing your story with us. Distinguished Toastmasters, amiable guests, please remember to vote for the speakers. We've had or listened to 2 speeches today, one by Toastmaster Jane on her experience with mentoring, and this one on the distinguished director by Toastmaster Chidi. Please send your votes to Toastmaster Elemoro privately. Thank you. Over to you, the general evaluator. Please confirm.
You can send your vote privately.
Toastmaster Elemoro, you won't take that again? I missed your comments.
They can send their votes to me privately.
Yes, yes. Please do send your votes privately to Toastmaster Elemoro. Privately, please. Thank you. Okay, maybe we'll just give us 1 or 2 minutes to do that before we call for the evaluations of the speeches. I do hope Toastmaster Elemoro is still on this call. Okay. Please send your votes to him. Please send your votes to him right away. My experience with mentoring and the distinguished director.
You are not in this meeting.
I am in this meeting. My system just performed the miracle, so I have to switch to my mobile phone.
Okay, you might want to rename yourself just so that we can
identify. Do that so we know where to send it to.
But I can see Elemora Do. Elemora Demola N.
Yeah, I'm raising my hand, so you can just send your votes to me privately. Elemora Demola N. That's me.
Okay.
All right. Please send your votes now. I'm going to count up to 10, meaning in 10 seconds, we should all vote. The time starts now. 1, 2, they are just 2 speeches, so you shouldn't have issues making up your minds. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.5, 8.6, 8.9, 9, 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.7, and 10. Toastmaster Elemoro, please confirm you have a good number of votes.
Yes, I do, but I'm Toastmaster of the day.
All right. So over to you, the general evaluator.
Many thanks to you, Toastmaster of the day. So we have to, we do the evaluation for the speakers now, or we take the reports from the role players?
We can go ahead with the evaluation now.
Okay. So we would like to call back to the virtual lectern Toastmaster Abdullahi to give us the evaluation for Toastmaster Chidi's speech. Toastmaster Abdullahi, are you with us?
Yeah, so I'm filling in for Toastmaster Abdullahi.
Okay.
Couldn't make the meeting for one reason or the other. So please give me the permission to go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Toastmaster Lemon.
Thank you very kindly. So I evaluated Toastmaster Jane, and the last time I evaluated Toastmaster Jane, I can also recall that speech immediately. It was a very, very intriguing presentation, and one thing has always been constant, and that has to do with the method in which we always structures her speeches, and that is very, very good. One thing I like particularly that she did was to commend the Toastmaster of the day for her beauty, and that's sent across a very, very positive atmosphere for everyone that was about to listen to her. That was very, very good. It's not something we usually see in Toastmasters, but I would recommend that more often. And then she started a speech by sharing a story. And one of the things I can also recall that I mentioned during the last time I evaluated a speech was the fact that she made use of the concept of why. When we are talking about, people do not buy what you say, they buy why you're saying it. And she made it so authentic that she made us understand why she was talking to us about that particular subject and the essence and why it means something to her personally. And that story was very, very clear. And of course, it fits well into that particular category. Something she also did was to, I think there was a way she structured that speech that shows, I think for me, that the takeaway from that speech is how it was structured. She started with a story, and the story already had the principles. I was already writing out the principles of mentoring. I didn't know she was still going to get to a point where she was going to extract the principles from that story herself and then try to offer brief explanations. So that was very, very good. And I felt like we're totally in sync. So for me, the takeaway from that speech is how it was structured. She had a story. The story was very, very clear. And then she brought out the principles of mentoring. And then she tried to engage us in that speech by throwing a rhetorical question at us, and then also ending with a quote. I think that structure was very massive. It was very, very good. What are the principles she mentioned? She talked about encouragement, principles of being a good mentor. You have to be able to encourage your mentee. You have to be able to listen to them. You have to have interest in them. You have to be able to communicate with them. You have to be available. You have to have empathy, and so on and so forth. And that was very, very, I think for me, it's an 100 over 100 in terms of what I was expecting. It was engaging, and she had a very, very wise quote to sum everything up. So what do I think she could have done to improve the quality of that speech? I will be unfair for me to start naming some things and play those masters politics. But I think the only thing the only thing that could have made that speech 101% would have been humor. There was no humor in that speech, and I think humor would have done a lot to bring more life into the speech and to also send across more beautiful message. So aside that, it was a very, very beautiful presentation. The principles were clear. Obviously, she has mentored someone before. She shared her experience, and she nailed perfectly the purpose of that particular project. And I do commend her for her efforts, and I wish her the best in her future endeavors. Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Elemoro. We'll call on Toastmaster Dafe to give us the evaluation for Toastmaster Chidi's speech, please. Toastmaster Dafe.
Yes, I'm here with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Chidi, I must commend your brilliance in expressing and sharing with us who you really are. You took us on a journey from your birth till this day, what you have achieved. Today, I know that you are the queen of voice, or I could refer to you as the bold and beautiful. You know, I've always looked forward to the opportunity where we could discuss. We've always wanted to have that engagement, but thank God that this is happening today. So your speech was very clear, concise. Your use of language was also very clear. You were wearing you're wearing glasses. So in terms of your eye contact, I could clearly say that you were looking at us. There was very clear eye contact with everybody, So the idea behind Icebreaker is to sell yourself to the public. It's like a marketing tool. And I must say that you excelled in flying colors doing that. In terms of the vocal varieties, you used a lot of them and also used a lot of rhetorical devices, which added flesh to your project. For example, you mentioned that the stars danced with each other. That was a very interesting one, which means there was excitement in the air. You also made mention of when you said the lady walked gracefully, majestically. You were all smiling, saying that. You also mentioned that the sky erupted with happiness. Those were very brilliant use of rhetorical devices. Your speech was well structured from the introduction to the body and then to the conclusion. So it was as fluid as the wave in the ocean. There was this smile and aura of happiness around you. I could sense that from here. You were very bold. You were very confident from the start of the speech to the end of the speech. Today, I've known that you have the mantra of inspiring people, which is something that we all have to imbibe and emulate. What would I recommend you to do better? Nothing much. For the icebreaker speech, I wanted to get to know what you do for a living. I didn't get that. So maybe subsequently, if you're going to speak on another occasion, you might want to let people know what you do. So that is just the recommendation I have. Other than that, your speech was excellently delivered. And I look forward to hearing more speeches from you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Chidi. Well done.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Dafe, for the beautiful evaluation. That concludes the evaluation for our speeches. And at this point, I will call back our team to give the reports on how we have fared so far. We'll first call on the timer, Toastmaster Elemoro, to the virtual lectern once again. We have already been having reports for the speeches as they were going on, but let him conclude on the timing so far.
I personally want to appreciate all the speakers today. They've really made my job easy. I must confess that I've not done a wonderful job in terms of keeping the time. I think part of it is because my network has been fluctuating, but I think I was able to do to the best of my ability. I think aside the table topic segment, where we had turning Toastmaster Valerie, who spoke for 28 seconds, and that couldn't qualify. The rest were qualified to be voted for. Under the prepared speech, we have Toastmaster Jane, who spoke for 6 minutes, 5 seconds. And then we have Toastmaster Chidi, of course, distinguished Toastmaster Chidi, who spoke for 6 minutes, 20 seconds. So they are both qualified to be voted for as well. So I just want to thank all the speakers who have been time conscious. They have really made my job easy. So thank you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lemoro. We'll call on our grammarian, Toastmaster Abdullahi, to give us, Abdul Rahim, to give us the reports on our use of language today and how many people have used the word of the day. Have we been altruistic with the word of the day or not? Toastmaster Abdul Rahim, please. Toastmaster Abdurrahim, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Running the grammarian reports, quite interesting. Haven't done that in a while. A few things to note was the use of the day. We tried reflecting it a couple of times so it could be used, going consistent with the theme of the meeting. A few people used it quite notably. I'll start with the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ngozi. She used it 6 times. Toastmaster Clarence used it twice. Toastmaster Valerie used it once. Toastmaster Godwin used it twice. Toastmaster Amarachi used it once. Toastmaster Jane used it once. Toastmaster Chidi used it twice. Toastmaster Aretha used it twice. So in total, we had a cumulative use of 16 times. My target was actually 100 times. But since my target was not reached, I will reserve my reward of $1,000 for myself. Probably the next meeting, I will hand that out. But for today, we didn't meet our targets. So no reward for everybody. Exactly. For our speakers, I would say I'm very delighted to say that proper use of grammar was used by most of the speakers, virtually all the speakers, and that is quite applaudable. A few speakers used some not so appropriate words, which I believe can be worked on. Things like the speaker said, "Do I have another more question?" Speaker should have said, "Do I have one more question, or can I call an additional question?" Another speaker said, "Show some enthusiasm." It could have been, "Show enthusiasm as against enthusiasm." And another speaker said, "How many of you is coaching someone?" Speaker should have said, "Which of you is a coach?" I think that would have been appropriate. Some use of good languages. Okay, somebody also said, "You were so smiling." I believe you could have said, "You're full of smiles," and that could have been better. I noted some use of languages that are quite applaudable, which are, one of the quotes that I really liked was, "Simplicity is the ultimate form of satisfaction." A quote again by Mark Twain, "Kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see." That was by Toastmaster Steve. And he also mentioned a phrase, "a religion of kindness." I believe that was very applaudable. Then we had interesting Toastmaster Amarachi. What I noticed was her vocabulary was very clear for an intending Toastmaster. And I think that is quite applaudable. And distinguished Toastmaster Chidi said, "Stars dance with each other." That was fantastic. I really love that. In all, the use of language was very good, and I appreciate every speaker that lent their voice. But one additional thing which applies to everyone that I believe we should try and do is trying to arrive early. So when we're introducing a speaker's name, or we're trying to pronounce somebody's name, we don't need to say, "Sorry, I'm not sure if I got that right," because that kept reoccurring. You can come in early, and the names that you find difficult on the agenda, you can practice before the speech, because I can tell you, the best music in the world is the sound of your name. Thank you so much. Over to our general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdulrahim, for that beautiful session on the reports of grammarian. May I call on Toastmaster Marachi, our accounting police, to let us have the reports on the people that have won for the pause fillers. I know your name should also be on that list because you started when you were
Unfortunately, I think we lost Toastmaster Marachi.
Okay, intending Toastmaster Marachi, please.
I think we lost her.
Okay. So we will not be able to get the accounting report. Okay, let's call on Toastmaster Zoe Octavia to give us her report as the listening evaluator. Let's know how many of us have participated fully in this meeting. Toastmaster Zoe, are you there? Toastmaster Zoe. I also cannot see her in the room.
I think she's also having network issues.
Yes, I can't see her in the room. Okay, well, I will just have to conclude at this time. We are already almost out of time. Toastmaster Lemora, I don't know whether you were really timing everyone. We are shooting beyond the time. Okay, so very quickly, it has been a very beautiful session and the meeting started quite on time. So we also expect to end it very much on time. Nothing much to do again. We have had a beautiful session and we just want to encourage everyone to practice all that we have learned for today. So it's not just for the purposes of the meeting, but in our everyday lives, using the word of the day, practicing how not to use the pause fillers in our everyday speeches as well. And we will really be better for it. Thank you so much. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day. Let me just end actually, because I just remembered the Princess Diana quotes on kindness that says we should carry out a random act of kindness and not expect anything in return, safe in the knowledge that somebody might do same for you at another time and venue and place. So we should take that away and just spread kindness as we move on. Thank you so much. It's been a beautiful outing.
I think intending Toastmaster is always back. She can give her report now.
Okay.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. It was
All
quite
right.
altruistic of you, MTM Elemoro, to notify the House. Thank you very much. A few questions to confirm that we have been listening. A role player who has spent about 2 decades in the telecoms, please.
Have we lost Toastmaster Zoe again?
I think so.
Hello, are we there?
Yeah, I think we lost her.
We lost her again. Okay. Madam Toastmaster, over to you, please.
All right.
Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. It's unfortunate that we are not able to listen or hear from Toastmaster Zoe. I'm looking forward to the questions that she was going to ask. All right, so it's time for us to present our words to the best table topic and best prepared speech. Do we have the results handy, Toastmaster Lemoro? Hello, Toastmaster Lemora, are you there?
I'm trying to share the results with you via your chat box, the private chat box.
All right. Thank you. All right, so our best table topic for today, 20th of February, 2022, was given by, any guesses? Your guess is as good as mine. Toastmaster Steve, I know, best table topic. Please unmute your mics and give him a thunderous round of applause. Well done, well done, well done, Toastmaster Steve, I know. Of course, I think you did justice to the topic, and of course, the fact that your topic was tied to the theme of today's meeting just, made it all come nicely, blend nicely together. Well done, well done. Toastmaster Steve, I know, are you there? Hello, Toastmaster Steve, are you there?
Yes, my delectable Toastmaster of the day. I can hear you.
All right, congratulations, well done. Keep honing your public speaking skills. Well done.
Thank you.
All right. And our best, I need to hear from the polling officer. Our best prepared speech was delivered by none other than, let's see your guesses. We had just 2 speakers. Let's see your guesses. All right, without further ado, I'll just announce that our best prepared speech was delivered by Toastmaster Chidi. A round of applause for her. Well done, well done, well done, well done, Toastmaster Chidi. Well done, Toastmaster Jane as well. Beautiful speeches right there. You want to say something to us, Toastmaster Chidi? Congratulations, don't worry. I just wanted to put you on the hot seat for a while.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, at this juncture, yes, well done, well done. At this juncture, I'll just return control back to the president. Unfortunately, she's not here, right? Toastmaster Lemora.
Yeah, she's out.
Okay, so who do I hand over the meeting to?
I can step in on behalf.
Yes, thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you very kindly, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. I really would like to appreciate everyone who has contributed to today's meeting, from the Sergeant at Arms to Madam President herself, who has to play a particular role at the wedding, but still made the time to perform her duties. And of course, we have the Toastmaster of the Day, who did an accelerating job, perfect job, and I do commend her for that. And of course, our dear Toastmaster Aretha, who has also been fabulous and very, very professional. Thank you so much for being part of this meeting today. And I really want to thank the rest of all the role players, including Toastmaster Marachi, Toastmaster Zoe Octavia, for Toastmasters who are in this meeting now. You might be wondering why we have intending Toastmasters playing these roles. Festac Toastmasters being the latest baby in town, we have some personalities who have showed commitment to become part of the club. And some of the things we are doing to encourage them to come on board is by giving them responsibilities. And it's just one of the ways to give them ownership of Festac Toastmasters. And that's why we're also encouraging them to follow the onboarding process of everything. So I would like to commend as well Table Topics Master of the Day, including the Table Topics Evaluator, of course, our 2 speakers, Toastmaster Jane, and of course, our dear Division Director, Toastmaster Chidi. Those speeches were actually worth our time, and it's such a pleasure to listen to 2 amazing speakers of their class. So thank you very kindly for that. I don't know who else I have to thank. I think I have to thank the guests who also made the time to be here, like Toastmaster Valerie, and I think Toastmaster Marachi as well. I think the Toastmaster Valerie actually sent me a message 4 days or 3 days ago, and I'm very, very happy that she was able to make the meeting and be part of the meeting. I hope that after the meeting, we can still talk further about Toastmasters and what we need to do to make it a reality, because intended Toastmaster Valerie also stays in Festac. So automatically she has to be on board, or else we have to send village people to her, which I don't like to do. So I'm just kidding. So thank you. Thank you very kindly. Thank you very kindly to everyone. I really want to use this opportunity as well to reach out to Toastmaster Aretha. She also stays in Festac. We'll be needing your support. We'll be needing your support to ensure that Festac Toastmasters flies. The division director has been working very, very hard to achieve so many goals. But in terms of, for me, Festac is long overdue. We really have to get this Festac Toastmasters done. So she's been working very, 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 very hard, and we have been doing everything we can to support her. So everyone that's listening, we need your support to ensure that Festac Toastmasters flies. And I am looking forward to that day when we can all pop champagne and have a wonderful time celebrating the birth of the new Toastmasters Club. Thank you very kindly on behalf of the president of Festac Toastmasters. I say thank you to everyone, and I look forward to the next meeting. And we hope when we call out to you to play roles, I believe our speeches will be available. So thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam Division Director. Thank you, Madam Marita. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Pleasure. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
The timekeeper was excellent today.
Marita, good evening. Representing DSN.
I really fancy the part of the organization.
Thank you, everyone.